Accommodate half the number of people who made up the record, 28,000 who turned out to see a Fairs Cup game against Barcelona back in 1966. But it's now a thoroughly modern stadium and not short of ambition. There are now 14 foreigners in the books here which suggest this ground could now truly be called Tanadice. Well, that foreign intake will be put to the test against Hearts, who've been in the import business themselves, so an alternative exercise this afternoon might well be spot the Scot. And here's your starter for 10. Yes, you're right. Peruse that and you see only two Scots, Maurice Malpas and Joe Miller. And typifying the need for United to go into the foreign market, 32-year-old Frenchman, Roger Boli, brother of Basil, who's a bit more subtle than Basil, but then a Sherman tank would have been a bit more subtle than Basil. Hearts, the cup holders, haven't gone as deeply into the foreign market as United, but they're delighted to have backed Steve Fulton after his domestic trauma. And the French counterbalance for Hearts is led by Stephen Adam, the man who scored that opening lead goal of the season against Rangers at Tynecastle. The referee, Stuart Dougal, has a preliminary duty to perform, for out of respect to the dead in that appalling tragedy in Northern Ireland, he's calling the players together for a minute's silence. Hearts starting off, you can sense the anticipation of their support, and a very big support they have here today, given that they won that cup. But the league, I think, is a primary target this time. I think they were angered by so many skeptics thinking they couldn't last the pace in the league, and of course they did. Got the cup to boot, but I'm quite sure the manager Jim Jeffries wants to go that stage further. He has to battle against the imbalance there is in the game with the enormous fortunes on the other side of the country, but he's done a remarkable job thus far. The pitch is rather greasy on top. We've had a lot of rain, which is very surprising given the summer we've had in Scotland, and that's a free kick almost immediately. Well, nobody being able to hold on to the ball to any great effect. And that's what we want to see now, a bit more controlled football. That's a very good run indeed. Now Hamilton spreading it wide, given good support there. Good play by Hearts as Thomas Flogel picks it up, and nobody coming to the edge of the box there. Now Fulton arrives. He'll let fly with that left foot of his. The best move of the game thus far. Steve Fulton giving very good backing from the back, and if he can get the ball placed to that left foot of his, then he could spell danger for this United defence. Slight misjudgment there. Salvatore has signed a new contract for Hearts, keeping him well into the new century. Says he loves Edinburgh. Of course, enjoying the stimulus of having won a Scottish Cup. I must say that has transfused the Hearts club. If they'd failed again, you never know what kind of reaction there would have been to it. It was such an important victory for them. Hearts get the free kick. Gary Naismith, one of the bunch of young players who come through the years for Hearts, and one of the most successful youth policies in the country. Little dummy there by Stephen Adam, almost coming off. Now the counter-attack, Joe Miller. Typical move this by Miller. He's at his best taking on a defence like this. Little burst of pace, and Rousset. I think that was the safest option for Rousset. That ball is very greasy, and he did exactly the right thing. The fists, the knuckles, and away it went. But the ball had swung out of play. Goal kick. Hamilton back in that left-hand side, trying to get the touch. He picks it up, though, giving good support. McCann, this is the first run we've seen of McCann. He gets the free kick. I think it was marginally so, because I think there was a bit of a slide in the surface. This is the very thing I was talking about earlier. Watch the way McCann turns inside a man, and oh yeah, free kick. I think that was very cutely played by the defender. Now, Fulton, the lower one, and that should be put in. Off the line, Maurice Malpas. Well, he's done that so often for United in the past. Hart still with the pressure. Now Hamilton left it behind him, and now Bowley on the break. He didn't have any support at all, and Tony Moles, the Dutch player, has gone down. A very heavy tackle there. The referee coming right across. Great performance by this man, Maurice Malpas. And as I said, he's done this so often in the past. Watch him taking up position there. Great, technically sound player. And I'm sure he'll be delighted to go after the league record that is held by David Neary. Good touch on it. That should be the direct shot of goal, and that was very well taken by Salvatore. And if it isn't happening for you directly up front, you've got to have somebody from midfield picking up a ball like that as he did, not far away. McCann takes it up well, and he ran out of support, and he's offside again, Adam. Half a dozen times that flag's been up, as he seems to have been able to step in towards goal. Bowley shoved aside. And the half-time whistle goes. I think essentially a disappointing first 45 minutes. Hearts played with a degree of fluency for the first 20 minutes that might have brought them a reward. And of course, at the other end, the likes of Joe Miller always making his breaks and giving the goalkeeper a little tremor in the heart as he went for one of his balls. And at the other end, the veteran, Maurice Malpas, the man without whom you feel Dundee United could not play any game at the moment, on the line for a clearance. And the midfield play is so important, especially if they can come into strike, and Salvatore was in there and just fractionally out. As the two teams go out towards the dressing room, I think there'll be some very stern talking in there. The half-time score, Dundee United 0, Hearts 0. Kick their favourite way now. I think the responsibility is on both sets of players to lift the whole tempo of this game up. It's been a well enough structured game, especially in defence, but it's lacked a little bit of vitality in important passages of play. Of course, it is the start of the season, and that sharpness might still be eluding certain players. There's Bowley. And very difficult to predict how this would break out eventually. And I think little errors like that might turn the fortunes of one team or the other. Needlessly given away corner kick. Joe Miller had a very good first half, always threatened a bit when he was on the ball, and that's Russi getting that. Bowley. Intervention by Salvatore. Now Flogel. Got to make something of this. Salvatore. Fulton. Gets support, and that, I think, was intended for Hamilton. Hearts beginning to pick it up now as Dundee United get careless. There's Hamilton. Away by Anderson, Darren Patterson, who came right across there. Here's a lovely ball through McCann. Can he make it? And it just passed. Fractionally out there. Well, that's the value of this man. So sharp getting in there. And I think the slight collision he had before he made that run put him off. Well, he played it neatly to feet, but it's still going square. Now the opportunity for a shot there by Easton. I think that sums up the second half, lacking real conviction. Now Easton, at least he's looked aggressive and eager to get in towards the box. Ball breaks, even though Olofsson was complaining to the referee. Joe Miller is in there and Easton tried to get it. Salvatore pushes it away. And right at the death, Gilles Rousset decided to touch that over. Could see that dipping and swerving slightly. He had to make sure. Back out. Miller letting that slip past him. He was in a very good position there. Easton. McLaren won't get that. And again, it ends very disappointingly for United. Locke wants to put the pressure on. Not properly put in, and again Malpas comes forward there. Naismith. Sabera ball. Hamilton tries it in low. I think trying to surprise the goalkeeper there, who might have been expecting a little chip to the far post. Well, he's looked very good, Stephen Thompson, since coming on. And a McLaren on the left-hand side now. That's not a bad ball, and Olofsson's in there. And Easton was going right through the middle. And clearly Olofsson trying to get that back to the youngster. Watch him going up here. Right off Ritchie. And that was sheer bad luck, I think, for United, that Ritchie was in the way there. Good move by Olofsson. And that's a gift to Rousset. Although he did accept it rather extravagantly. I thought he might have just overleapt there to start off with, and not a single Hearts player down to take Malpas on. Miller touching it inside. Ritchie trying to find Steve Fulton there. And a mistake like that at this juncture in the game could be fatal. That was late, and it's going to be a free kick and a red card. Well, now the referee simply did not hesitate there. And the young player, I said, has been excellent since he came on, Stephen Thompson, goes for this. It was right through the ball, certainly. You can see him digging in hard there. It was reckless, it was late. Fulton, there's a touch there, brilliantly saved by Dijkstra. Fulton across, David Weir's there, and Dijkstra comes down on it. As Hearts, for the first time in the game, looked as if they might make that United defence crumble. Driven in there, it looked as if it might end up in nothing, but great determination by Fulton, who comes right through here, and yet again to take the rebound. And good play eventually by Dijkstra. Well, they have to suffer the frustrations of all kinds of games, and certainly both managers have suffered today watching almost the negative play in midfield and so few chances near goal. And there's the man who kept them out right at the end, Siep Dijkstra. It's the first time in a game, really, that he's been under intense pressure, but he held his ground. As I say, in many ways, I'm sure both sets of players delighted that they haven't lost this game, but maybe that's a negative way of looking at it. Great deal of improvement, forward play to come from both sides. But there we are. Final score at Tannadice, Dundee United 0, Hearts 0.
As I say, it was a game with very few opportunities, so we're away from home, and 4 points out of the first two games against two top sides, Rangers and Dundee United, isn't a bad start.
I'm disappointed for these players because I think we deserve more from the game, and definitely we're the better team.
Do you think Hearts were suffering maybe from the excesses of the game in Lantana?
I think that's a criticism of Dundee United. You know, I think you've got to give Dundee United, you're sitting saying, bumming up Hearts, you know, now all respect, they're a good team. But I thought Dundee United more than equipped themselves very well today.
Stevie Fulton, the key in the middle of the park again?
Well, when you consider what that player's been through this week with his family, I thought he was absolutely magnificent today. He's missed 2 or 3 days of the training. It was a tough decision to leave Lee Makel out, who was outstanding. But it's about each game, and Stevie didn't lose out because of any poor form. He's been one of our best players at the start of the season, and I think he showed that today. And what an outstanding performance in the park. And if he plays like that, then Craigbur's going to find it hard to keep him out because he was exceptional today.